Hey everyone, I am finally sharing some of our curriculum picks for the upcoming school year, the 2023-2024 school year. This will be like our family group subjects, which a big focus of our school year this year is going to be on working together, family subjects. So I'm gonna put all of that in this video, and then I'll just do the amount that my kids are doing independently is a lot smaller. So I'll do separate videos on those. But I will have a 3rd grader and a 6th grader. And yeah, my 3rd grader, he reads at a higher level than 3rd grade. And his math is at a higher level in 3rd grade. So keep that in mind. But the kind of the basis of what we're working off of is Torchlight level 3. Level 3 is Innovation in Inquiry, and it is a literature-based secular curriculum. We have done pieces and parts of Torchlight in the past, level 1 and level 2. I think level 1 we really just used some of the books from. Level 2 we tried to do kind of more of it, but we were trying to do it alongside a whole bunch of other things that overlapped, and it just was too much. So I'm hoping to really follow a lot of Torchlight this year. So what I especially like about this year is the theme. I think it's perfect for my kids. They're into invention and all of that kind of stuff. So I think that this one will be great. We are going to do a lot of it, not all of it. So let me show you what we're going to be doing so far. All right, so we are going to use their history, which is Curiosity Chronicles, Snapshots of Early Modern History, volumes 1 and 2. So we're going to use that for history. We also have the instructor's guide for volume 1 and 2, and then we have the student pack as well. I don't have that printed though. And then we will use our history timelines that we have been using along with this. We'll just continue to add to those. So that's what we're going to do for history, exactly what they recommend in there, and whatever add-ons they recommend, we will do as well. I think I have most of them. If not, I can get them from the library. All right, and then let's see, we're gonna do their recommended science, which is Scientific Connections Through Inquiry, level 3. And we will do this 2 days a week. The history we'll do the other 2 days. This is the student guide that goes with it. I think I have another video on this. If I do, I will link it down below. But we will be adding some things in for science, some of which you'll see in my kids' independent work videos, but also I really want to focus in on books this year, which is partly why we're leaning into Torchlight so heavily this year. But I want to go even further, and so I found, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6 to 8 like middle grade books that I would like to do a literature study on, but also do science around. So in addition to doing this for science, we are, to make sure I was still recording there, we're going to be doing even more science. So we have the evolution of Calpurnia tape. We have City of Ember. We have George's Secret Key to the Universe. This is a Torchlight reader already. We have The House That Lou Built. So this is science and STEM. Maya and the Robot. Song for a Whale. And then either Midsummer's Mayhem or Honestly Elliot, which is a book I showed in a library haul recently. Both of these relate to cooking and baking, and I want to do some kitchen science. So I'm not sure which one of these two we're going to pick yet, but one of those two. I think that's all of them. So I don't want to call it like a unit study because we're not going to do all the subjects. We're going to study the book and we're going to study the science that goes along with it. So that's what we have for science. Let's see. Okay, so literature and poetry. Actually, let me say this. We are not doing the writing language arts portion of Torchlight. We have other things for those. One of those we will be doing as a group subject, and that is writing. We are basing our writing off of the Writing Revolution, which I believe I did another video on. I will link it down below. I am very new to this. I've never implemented it before. I'm still reading the book. So to kind of help me out and so that I don't feel defeated before I even start, I did get a few units from Lit House Learning to help us implement. And so I got one to go along with Curiosity Chronicles Early Modern. Oh, there's the one. This is the student version. So this really, the way the Writing Revolution works is you're learning to write through all subject area and grade levels. So we have that. And then I also got one to go along with George's Secret Key to the Universe. And then I think I have another one, which is a Torchlight reader. I think is this one, The Griffins of Castle Carey. I'm pretty sure I bought one to go with that as well. So that's really to kind of help me through this writing because it's new to me. But that's what we're going to be doing for writing. And then I also got a few, I bought a pack on Teachers Pay Teachers that had a bunch of like creative writing centers in them. And we're going to try these out. I printed out these 3 to start us with. This one's superhero comics, and it's like a, basically you can use these multiple times. So create a comic with a superhero main character, and then you write what superpower you want them to write their character with. They give you some suggestions. There's a direction page, some tips, and then there's like a page to help them get started to kind of lay out their plan. And then there are the sheets here for them to write their comic. I also did writing battles. I think this one will be a lot of fun. Again, I can just use a dry erase marker. You pick 2 things, which is better, cats versus dogs, Mario versus Minecraft, you know, whatever. And then again, there's some writing tips, the directions, and then here, there's a couple different versions of a sheet for them to kind of organize their thoughts, graphic organizer, that's what I was looking for, and then a sheet for them to write their final thing on. And then I also did character scrapbooks, create a character who is, and again, you pick a character who is evil or a character who is a dog or whatever. They give you some suggestions. Again, you can use this multiple times by just using a dry erase marker. And then there's lots of graphic organizers here that you can use for that. So that is what we have for writing. Oh, I moved my book out of the way. All right, so writing and language arts, that's what we're doing. My kids have grammar things. I'll show those in their independent subjects video. Let's see, art and music. So Torchlight has art and music kind of written into it. And I'll show you some of that, and then I'll show you what I'm adding into it. So let's see. We have, I think this also goes with, I think it's art and music and literature and poetry, but it's Shakespeare. So we have how to teach your children Shakespeare, and we have a stage full of Shakespeare stories. So we will be doing that, or we will be starting it. We'll see how it goes. And then we have the paint lab, which we're gonna try and do. And then some of the more like art appreciation and art history and kinds of things. We have Vincent's Starry Night. We already had this book, so that was great. I didn't have to buy it. Well, I bought it once, obviously. I didn't have to buy it again. We have Women in Art. And Old Masters Rock, How to Look at Art with Children. Okay, so we have all of that. That is part of Torchlight. This past year, I guess I should say, what we did for art was we used a program called Atelier Homeschool Art, and I did a video on that. I'll link it down below. It's like $150, and you have enough lessons to last an entire school year. And we really like that. It's a lot of like different mediums and, different techniques and things like that, which I love. However, when it came time to purchase that, you stream the videos. I don't know if I mentioned that. It just wasn't in our budget. I think $150 is really affordable for 2 kids for art for the whole year. However, I didn't have enough money left in my budget for that. So I went onto eBay and I found they used to do it as DVDs. And there are some sellers on eBay who have the DVDs, and some of them even have they used to come with like a print pack, like some art prints and like the lessons in a binder typed out, and then discussion questions and things to go with the art prints. I didn't need all that. I feel like we're getting enough of that in the Torchlight stuff. I just wanted the lessons. So I was able to get the level I wanted, which is level 5. I think it's ages 8 to 11. And this was $25. So this I could get in my budget. Now, if I had the money for the streaming program, I would do that, because just technology wise, it's easier for me to stream in our homeschool area than it is for me to play a DVD. But this is what fit in the budget, so this is what we got. In general, the video's a little dated and whatnot, but the lessons are still really good and my kids really enjoyed them. So that is what we have for art. For music, we are going to be learning to play the piano, although we don't have a piano.
Yeah. Wait, don't we?
We have a keyboard.
Oh.
We have a keyboard. So that's what we're going to be learning on. And we're going to see. We're going to try some things that we already have that I have bought for previous years that we did not use. And if we do well with these, then I will move on to something like a Hoffman Academy. I think that looks really cool. But I don't want to put out money until I'm sure that we're going to stick with it. So I have this book called Music Word Speller, which is learning to read music step by step. And it's got different little lessons in it. And so we will work through this. And then we have learning to play the piano for the very young. Now, is this for really little kids? Probably. But will it teach us what we need to know? I think it will. And we have it. I didn't have to buy it, so that's perfect. And also, we bought a recorder. The very first year we homeschooled, we bought a recorder, and it didn't go well. My daughter's fingers were just really too small to fit appropriately over the holes, and so I thought, if we're doing music, let's do music. We'll bring out the recorder. So I pulled that book out that we have as well. So that is the plan right now for art and music. Okay. Let's see, what have I not talked about? Okay, so literature and poetry. We are going to be doing all of the read alouds that they recommend in Torchlight. However, we're not going to do them all as read alouds. We're going to consume the book in one way or another, but we're going to be doing a lot of group reads, meaning we'll have 3 copies of the book. We may read it independently and then come together and talk about it. Sometimes we may do it kind of round robin where we read out loud. We each read a page, go around the table to get through the chapter and then talk about it. Some of them might just be an independent read for one of my kids, maybe not both, depending on what the book is. And then we will be adding in other independent reads for them. And we're going to create a reading notebook. This past year, where is it? I created a reading notebook for each of my kids. This is my son's. They each had a different cover. This is in my Teachers Pay Teachers store if you're interested in it. But and it just had a log in the front for them to tracked the books they read, and then for every book they read, they did a page. There's 5 different activities they can choose from. They picked one, and that's what they did for that book. So I want to expand on this. We'll do this, something like this. I'll probably create a different notebook for them. We'll probably do it in a binder because some books we may just be doing some maybe written narration, or I may print some notebooking pages from Teachers Pay Teachers. It'll be a variety, and it'll depend on the book what we're going to do with it. So I'm going to take this idea and expand it a little bit. So at the end of the year, they had this just really great little binder of memories of all the books that they read for the year. So that's the plan with literature. We're going to use Torchlight's suggestions here. We're going to take it a little further, and we're also going to add in some others. If you'd like to see a video of each of my kids' other books that I'm going to have them read, and maybe a look at the notebook, the new notebook, once I get it done, or how we're going to do that, let me know, and I will do that. I'll do a video on that. Okay, so that's literature. Poetry, writing, language arts will be mostly, well, writing I showed you, and then the other language arts will be in their individual videos. Art and music, history, math. All right, so name a math program out there that we haven't done. There's probably not one. But last year we did the pilot. We were in the pilot program for Math with Confidence for grade 4. Both my 2nd grader and 5th grader at the time did grade 4. And it went well, we liked it. That is mostly the plan for next year. We did get into the pilot for grade 5. However, if this were a fully published curriculum that I could just go to the store and buy, and the next level was also available, I probably wouldn't have any hesitations in continuing it. But there are some things, because it's the pilot and not a published curriculum as of yet, that I don't like. You know, there are typos. The teacher's manual isn't in its final format. Sometimes lessons will be rewritten if kids are frustrated with them. And you get like 1 week at a time. You get access to 1 week at a time, and then you print it out. And then once you finish it and fill out a feedback form, you get access to the next week. But also, and so that's annoying, but it's like, that's just the way it is. And so it's fine. I'd rather that than nothing. But I feel like it does limit us in some way, because we can't ever move ahead of the program. We can't ever get ahead. So I want to have a backup. And so what we're trialing this summer is Jump Math. This was developed in Canada, but there's a US edition, and each year has 2 parts, a point 1 and a point 2. And it's very, very basic. I don't know where I put my, oh, here we go. The teacher's manual is all online. You just print it out. You do the lesson. There's no visual in here for the lesson. You do the lesson based on the information they give you here. They'll tell you to draw certain things on the board or to use a certain manipulative. The teachers, the lessons are all free. And then you purchase the workbooks. They're like $13, but I bought them on eBay for like $5, and that included shipping. But the lesson pages are very plain. There's no color. So I don't know, we're trying it. So far it's going fine. But like, this is an example of after we would do the lesson from the, after I would create a lesson or teach the lesson from the teacher's manual, then the kids would come in here and do this page and this page, and then that's it. So there's just 1 page front and back. But some of them do have quite a number of problems on it. So, but so far it's been going all right. So this is something we're trialing right now, because this would allow us to continue to move forward. But we will likely just do this. I don't know, we'll see. Those are my thoughts right now. All right, and then I talked about science, and then innovation, inquiry and innovation. So this is probably the part I'm most excited about. 3 of the books it uses kind of the most are Fantastic Failures, Toys. This is a book we also already had, and we've read this, but my daughter really loves this book, and so she's excited that we're gonna read it again. So that one. And then Innovators, the stories behind the people who shape the world. And this is a Nomad Press book, and you know how I love those. And then it has the Book of Innovations that goes with it. And this is probably the part I'm most excited about. There's making a game, writing a play, assemblage art. I think there's creating a recipe, all kinds of fun things, composing some music and all of that. So I'm really excited about that as well. All right. Hopefully that is everything. I've literally filmed this video like 4 or 5 times. Oh, it's not everything. Shoot. All right, one more thing. And that is, in addition to like electives like music and that we're gonna do, we are also going to be doing sewing. Now this is something that my daughter got for Christmas a couple of years ago, and she only did, I think, the first unit. So we are gonna go back and redo the first unit, and both she and my son are going to do this. This is a great, I did a video on this, I'm sure of it. So I will link it down below and show you that. But we're gonna do some sewing this year. One of the things, that's kind of one of the things in Torchlight this year is not just inventing and innovating, but like handicraft kinds of things as well, and art and things like that. So I thought this is a good year for us to really get into this sewing. So that's something we're gonna be doing. And then the last thing is computers. So we will continue with Type C, which is what we started using for typing this year. I really like it. It's really affordable. But to go along with that and computers, we're going to do Coder Academy. And I have other coding material that we can use if we get through this. We'll see. This is the kind of stuff I buy a ton of and then we never get to it. So this is the year we're getting to it. And then the same as this, I bought this for last year and we just never got to it. So I'm hoping this is Microsoft Office for kids. I really want to get to this year. And I think my kids are both at a good age for it. So fingers crossed. Now that, I believe, is everything other than their independent things, which I will do in another video. So if you have any questions, let me know down below and I will talk to you soon.